Hello, hello, hello. It is me, Andrea Patrick. Welcome back if you are an OG boss. If you are new here, welcome, boss. I'm Andrea Patrick, the BU boss, and I help you put the BU in your business, in your life, career, and your business. And I show you how to use personal branding to be unapologetically you in those three areas. Now, I am going to talk to you today. We're going to continue with our series, the 4P New Year Push, where we're talking about personal branding tips for positive, proactive practices in your business. If you're like me, you have already struggled with how to prepare for the new year. I've done that in years past, but over the past few years, I've really come up with a good game plan that gets me on track for making sure that my new year is going to be what it needs to be. And I'm trying to share some of those tips with you now in this series. So if you've not watched some of the other videos in this series, please head over I will link the series in the description below so that you can watch the other videos in the series so you don't miss anything. But for now, we're going to talk about this sales funnel and the fundamentals of a sales funnel and what you need to know, the basics of what you need to know and prepare for in the new year. Now, in my experience, not having a plan to attract, engage, and convert my ideal audience has left me in the past feeling like I was just disorganized. There was stuff everywhere in my head, and that sometimes I was just even detached from my business goals. I don't know if you've watched me. I do a series every year, the 12 Days of Reindeer Games. And in the couple of years past, I think a couple of times I've actually talked about how I created this whole revenue calendar, this revenue content calendar. And for 2 years straight, I would fill it all out. And then I would proceed to go through the year and never look at it again. So I had to make some changes to that because I was detached from the goals of the year. So I had to do something that I could remember and connect with. And so that's why it's so important for you to understand your personal framework and create those standard operating practices for yourself. Then you're not messing up the process and feeling disorganized and detached. You have a game plan. There's a method to your madness. So with this video today, I want to talk about the fundamentals of your sales funnel so that you know what they are and you can begin now, not later, deriving a plan to be successful with these elements. Now, like I said, have struggled in the past with not having this strategy. I've also had the wrong mindset around what an actual conversion was. And then when it came to engaging with my ideal audience, I was not doing it on a regular basis. And when I was, it was more sales focused than relationship building. And I'm here to tell you from my experience, relationship building is the ticket because as you build relationships, what you're doing is you're increasing the loyalty of the clients you already have and allowing them or giving them what they need to become affiliates, if you will, or referrals that bring in new business and they continue to buy. One thing that I know for sure is that you just don't want to find yourself in a situation where your sales depend on you constantly getting new customers. So understanding the fundamentals of the sales funnel are going to be very helpful for you to be intentional about building those relationships and cultivating the cycle of repeat purchases and referral purchases in your business versus those one-offs. Okay. So don't be like me. Don't get to the point where your engagement isn't regular or the regular engagement you're doing is just all salesy. So if this sounds like something that you are familiar with, you've been struggling with, keep watching to today's video because I am going to give you my 2 cents on the fundamentals of a sales funnel using personal branding tips that are going to help you have positive, proactive practices next year. All right, let's dive into these 3 things. The first thing is attract. You have to attract your ideal audience and you need to have a strategy here to attract them. And you need to have a content distribution plan so that it is consistent. You are consistently doing the thing that captures the attention of your ideal audience. There needs to be a strategy behind this, and it does not need to be happenstance or just kind of, whenever, whatever type of thing. There has to be consistency here because it is the consistency that is going to ultimately attract people to this amazing content that you're sharing. So let's talk about this amazing content. What is it? Well, in my view, in my opinion, and what I teach my customers is to have what's called a hero piece of content, whether it is a blog, a podcast, or YouTube videos. These are the three pieces of content that you are going to provide value for. It could also be a newsletter. I'll add that in as well. So within this newsletter or this blog or this podcast or this video, like you're watching now, people are going to come back over and over and over again to hear what you have to say, this valuable content. But you also have to have a way to distribute that content. And that's where social media comes in. So you want to have a strategy, a plan to consistently get the word out about this hero piece of content that you're going to be talking about. That's what's going to attract people. It's important for you to have a game plan for this. So you want to have a content calendar. You want to have, the consistency of creating the actual content so that people know that every Wednesday your podcast comes out. Every Thursday your video comes out. That's my schedule, by the way. And then every Sunday, you might have a bonus video. Again, my schedule. So you want people to recognize that consistency and know that the content that you're putting out is amazing, it's valuable, and they look forward to seeing it. So your social media posts are how you're going to get the word out about that content. Also, it could be networking. That's why your 30-second pitch is so important. People get 30 seconds to hear whether or not you can benefit them in their business in some way. And benefiting them in their business doesn't always mean that you want to buy from them. It could mean that they're serving a very similar audience as you. So networking is a way to attract people to what it is you're doing so that you get access to your ideal audience. Now, the next element of the fundamental element of your sales funnel is the engagement component. Now, here is where you need a schedule. This is where consistency is important. And it's also where you need a process that prioritizes engagement. Well, what do you mean, Andrea? Well, if you've created this amazing piece of content and you're using social media or networking to get the word out about that particular piece of content, then the next thing is people might want to respond by liking your post, by following you, by commenting on your post. Here is where you have an amazing opportunity to actually engage with the people who like what you're bringing to the table. If they follow you, you should have some sort of a response that thanks them for the follow and let them know that there's even more amazing content out there somewhere that they might be interested in. If it's a like, again, you want to acknowledge that they liked you. Don't just heart that they liked you, but go into their site, onto their profile, see what they're about, make a comment there. These are things that you can do to open the doors of engagement for people who could potentially be great business connections to you or great sales opportunities for you. So you want to engage, have those conversations. Some of these platforms have different groups where discussions are happening and people are looking for people to answer their questions inside the group. This is your opportunity to add your value there. But that, again, requires you to have a schedule that you can be consistent with. It requires you to prioritize that engagement in some way and have a process for the engagement. You can't just haphazardly show up in groups, because quite honestly, if you show up in groups and all you want to do is post your podcast episode, or you just want to post a new product or service, a lot of people will look at you as spam and they're not going to engage. It's going to be a turnoff. And when you are ready to go in for the sale, they're not going to respond. You want to be more of an influencer here, engaging with them inside the group. So there needs to be some consistency to that as well. Also, another way to engage, I love to do one-on-ones, especially when we're talking about networking. Money is made from relationships. We don't want just that one-off sale. I personally want to build relationships where there is the recurring charges, people consistently want to purchase from me. It is so much more difficult to have to try to always get new customers over and over and over again. You will work yourself to death trying to do that. So in your engagement, here is where you're going to build those relationships. And it might take some time. That's where you have to be prepared. all sales don't happen just because you had that first conversation. It is about you constantly showing up. And so that's why the attracting with your content, the sharing of the lead magnets, you've heard people say that's a way to attract people into your fold. But really, it's in those conversations and the discussions and engagement and the value add that you bring to the table when you're not trying to sell them something that is going to build those relationships, and it's going to get people on your side and make them loyal referral based customers. That's what you want. Now, one of the things that I think is also important when it comes to engaging and attracting is knowing what stage of bossing you're actually in. Now, I have a whole quiz on this, and I will put it in the description box below because I think it's a helpful tool to not only determine if you're the boss you think you are, but then also understanding the audience that you should be looking to attract. The people that are operating in your right stage of bossing are going to see the value in what it is you're doing in that moment. So, and this quiz is going to help you determine what stage of bossing you're in. And it's also going to help you determine who your ideal audience should be. So if you would like to know whether or not you are the boss you think you are, head down to the description, grab that quiz, take it, and then tag me and tell me what your results were, because I love to hear that, and tell me if it was helpful. Also, I have for you, because we're in this age of holiday planning and trying to get our stuff together for the new year, I also have the ultimate holiday marketing campaign guide that is not just for Christmas and Thanksgiving, but it's also for other holidays throughout the year. And it gives you sort of lead times when you should start planning the campaign and about when you should start actually like running the campaigns. It's very good to help you prepare, so that what I'm sharing with you here, the elements of the fundamentals of a sales funnel will be, you'll be able to use them better to create the best possible marketing campaign. So those two things will be in the description below, because I think that they'll be helpful here in this 4P New Year push that we're doing to create personal branding. I'm giving you personal branding tips for positive and proactive practices for the new year. So grab those two things. Now, the last fundamental element of your sales funnel is the conversion. Now, the issue that I think people have here is one that I had when I first started my business, and I thought that the conversion meant the exchange of goods or services for money. And though that is the ultimate conversion, there are many conversions that can happen prior to that are good indicators as to whether or not you're on target to reach the money exchange part of the conversion. It also is a great indicator as to whether or not you need to just let go of this pipe dream that this is ever going to be a sale. And it might be an indicator that you need to nurture more and you need to give more value in order for someone to make a decision to give you money. So the first thing with the conversion here is to understand that, yes, obviously we want to make money, but conversions can come in many other forms as well. Primarily for me, when I think about conversions, I know that if the customer experience is a positive one, they may not actually exchange dollars for goods and services, because their experience with me was so good, they will share me with other people. They will become a mouthpiece that brings new business to me. And that new business might be where I get the actual exchange of goods and services for money conversion. So your customer experience is an aspect of conversions that isn't explained sufficiently, in my opinion. And I believe that when people are intentional about their sales funnel, they will also be intentional about the actual experience the customer has as they move through the sales funnel. Mindset is important here, okay? When you are talking about the sales funnel, you have to understand the different types of conversions and how they fit in the grand scheme of your sales funnel, because each conversion in your sales funnel could be moving people down the pipeline that eventually results in a money for a service or product exchange. But you have to be open to the idea that a conversion is more than just exchange of goods and services for money. In order for the fundamentals of this sales funnel to actually work and for you to create this positive customer experience that I'm talking about, if you concentrate your energy on engaging with, providing value for the people you attract, those people will be a pool of people that ultimately give you the sales conversion you're looking for, whether they personally purchase from you or they are the conduit for someone else's purchase. I mean, these fundamentals of the sales funnel are definitely areas that you should concentrate your energy on between now and the end of the year. Start coming up with a game plan to attract, engage, and convert your ideal audience. Now, if you have not already, please get on the list, the wait list for Project CEO. It's an amazing program. Who knows when the doors will open again, but if you're on the wait list, you'll definitely be the first to know. But until then, please go ahead and start thinking about your sales funnel, the fundamentals of your sales funnel, and how you want to attract, engage, and convert your ideal audience. All right, see you next time, guys. Bye.